You guys anxious? What do you do?
Unemployed.
Yeah. Well, sure. That would make me anxious as well. What'd you do before?
Worked for the DNC.
Yeah, they're cutting jobs right now, I'll tell you that. Everyone out. We need 100% turnover.
Can't believe he just admitted that he worked for the DNC as a fact checker. Boy, do I got a good one for you guys today. We have a base comedian ripping someone who used to work for Kamala Harris, ripping someone who used to work for the Democratic Party, and he was a fact checker. And we all know that the era of the Democratic stronghold of controlling information and being able to indiscriminately spread disinformation and misinformation without going unchecked is coming to an end as Trump brings in the golden era. We know that the left, we know that the wokesters and the regressives, along with the Democratic Party, they always wanted to be the arbiters of truth.
So Mark Zuckerberg just said that facts are biased, politically biased. So who's gonna take one for the team and create a new social media? Meta has to go. We cannot use Meta anymore. That is absolutely insane. He's getting rid of fact checking because it's politically biased. Just like X, which if you still have X, I don't know what to tell you. That's crazy and strange. But we got to get rid of all the Meta platforms too. So someone's gonna have to take one for the team and make something new, because this is probably gonna be gone soon. Also, I wonder if they're connected in some way. I wonder if that's why Mark Zuckerberg's feeling so emboldened to make these changes on his platforms, but it's not gonna work. We can't do that, so.
They went on their campaigns of why it's so important to combat disinformation and misinformation.
People like Putin, and Steve Bannon for that matter, understand it's not necessary for people to believe disinformation in order to weaken democratic institutions. You just have to flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe.
Former President Barack Obama coming to Stanford, the heart of Silicon Valley, Thursday, with a warning about the threat that disinformation poses to American democracy, putting Putin and Steve Bannon in the same sentence and saying he underestimated in 2016 how powerful conspiracy theories had become.
No one in my administration was surprised that Russia was attempting to meddle in our election. What does still nag at me, though, was my failure to fully appreciate at the time just how susceptible we had become to lies and conspiracy theories.
Those lies and conspiracy theories still very much alive in the US.
We just saw a sitting president deny the clear results of an election and help incite a violent insurrection at the nation's capital. Social media did not create racism or white supremacist groups. All these things existed long before the first tweet or Facebook poke. Solving the disinformation problem won't cure all that ails our democracies or tears at the fabric of our world. But it can help tamp down divisions and let us rebuild the trust and solidarity needed.
Obama laid out how he believes social media algorithms designed to maximize engagement and keep people hooked are contributing to a crisis in democracy.
And unfortunately, it turns out that inflammatory, polarizing content attracts and engages. Other features of these platforms have compounded the problem. For example, the way content looks on your phone, as well as the veil of anonymity that platforms provide their users, a lot of times can make it impossible to tell the difference between, say, a peer-reviewed article by Dr. Anthony Fauci and a miracle cure being pitched by a huckster. People are dying because of misinformation.
Obama said it is time for social media companies to step up.
Tech platforms need to accept that they play a unique role in how we as a people and people around the world are consuming information, and that their decisions have an impact on every aspect of society. With that power comes accountability.
And that they had put all these things in place to be able to combat those things like fact checkers. Not only fact check, but collude with social media companies to throttle and censor their political faction, which is an infringement on our First Amendment right of freedom of speech, which so many of us have experienced being throttled, experience being shadow banned, even banned or demonetized. All the different things that you can think of that the opposition would probably do to you because they don't like that you push back with probably facts and are correcting them and checking them in their lies and hypocrisies. So here we are now, we have a comedian that actually got to run into what no one ever gets to meet or see because they're all hidden and they're somewhere in the office being arbiters of truth, being the authority of what's right and what's wrong and what's real and what's fake. They're nowhere to be found, right? There's some hobbit up in a hole somewhere working for the DNC. Well, this comedian, I'm not sure where he was at the time. I looked him up. It looks like he does a lot of comic shows in Oregon, New York, places like that, which are liberal. But in this particular scene that I'm going to go into, I'm not sure where it exactly took place. The comedian's name is Jamie Wolf. During his segment, he's talking about anxiety, and I guess someone in the crowd, he asks them a question, and the guy, he says, hey, what kind of work did you do? And the guy said, well, I worked for the DNC, basically, and I was a fact checker.
You guys anxious? What do you do?
Unemployed.
Yeah, sure. That would make me anxious as well. What'd you do before?
Worked for the DNC.
Yeah, they're cutting jobs right now, I'll tell you that. Everyone out. We need 100% turnover. What did you do for the DNC?
Counter misinformation.
I'm sorry, I don't think anyone did a worse job than you. This past year, bro, you did the worst job. Really?
Yeah.
I wanted to do a set, but now I'm really interested in what you're saying. You were countering misinformation. How were you supposed to go about doing that? Just commenting on TikToks? Yeah, actually, if you look at the facts, this isn't true. Going on Rogan's YouTube page, well, if you look it up, vaccines are actually quite safe. From the DNC official page.
A little more complicated than that, but it didn't work out well.
Yeah, no. I know, we're all in this room, we all know. You might want to just not say that was your last job. What are you applying for now? What?
God, man. First of all, anyone who used to work for Kamala Harris and that sleepy Joe Biden should be embarrassed to even admit that. The fact that the guy even admitted that, hey, yeah, I used to work for the DNC, and I was that hobbit up in the office somewhere that was determining what's misinformation and what's disinformation. That is an embarrassment in itself. And then the fact that he ended the joke, right? I know the comedians just working the crowd. You know, sometimes it gets really funny working off the crowd. And in this case, it paid off perfectly. With him saying that now he's looking for a new job, bartending, it just took it over the moon. Because we all know that Trump is just gutting out and he is draining the swamp. Literally, this is what he means by the new golden era. He's getting rid of DEI. He's getting rid of these arbiters of truth, these fact checkers, and we just are watching it unfold live. We're watching the Democratic lie, the emperors, the Democratic stronghold emperors. Their whole entire empire is just crumbling to the ground, and everybody understands it.
You want to know why nobody believes a word Democrats say in the Trump era? It's because during the election, they told us the economy was great, everybody's doing fine, it's just a messaging problem, you don't understand. Now Trump's in office a week, and the Democrats are like, yo, when are you going to lower the price of groceries? Nobody can afford anything. The eggs are out of control. And AOC's jumping in to say we can't deport murderers and rapists back to Colombia because that's going to jack up the price of coffee. So what is it? A week ago, the economy was doing great. A week later, it's so bad, we'd rather take our chances with getting murdered than paying an extra 25 cents for a latte. Yo, Democrats, you can tell me the economy's bad, you can tell me the economy's good. But if I've learned anything in the past week, it's that you can't tell me the truth.
Everybody, that's the punchline. That's what's so funny about this whole situation. Everybody agrees, everybody gets it, everybody knows that they lied. And it's just, it's a hypocrisy, and it's funny that someone actually would admit that, yeah, I used to work for the DNC and now I'm jobless. It's like the many videos that we're seeing now of people coming out complaining that their DEI job is gone now.
Day 2 of life after getting fired as a DEI coordinator for the Pentagon. Today, I hung out with my 5 best friends who live in the city who I haven't been able to see for a while. They're trans. Then I visited my old stomping grounds, but got too upset with my snowflake tears, so I had to cradle myself into a ball and do 12 positive affirmations, affirming that my gayness is still okayness. After that, I had therapy with, you guessed it, a black therapist. Their name is Lotus, but they go by L. And the good news is that I finally got to share with my therapist that during my time at the Pentagon, I had secretly sent anonymous letters to all of the cis white men's families to promote gender-affirming care and the devil. I'm just living that former DEI life.
It's just complete hilarious. It's liberal tears going into our veins. We couldn't have asked for any much more of a gift from God. This is like a gift of bread on earth to see this live, just the Democratic lies and their empire just crumbling to the ground, man. Because first and foremost, when it comes to misinformation and disinformation, who is the authority to say what's misinformation and disinformation, right? We're human beings. We have enough, hopefully you have enough logic to go and look something up and research and find out for yourself, but we know that's just not happening. People go off the headlines. Media, legacy media has been lying for so many years, playing defense for the Democratic Party, playing defense for the lies, because we know that the liberals, the regressives, they call themselves progressives, but I refer to them as regressives. We know that the wokesters, their cries, their moaning, their complaining, usually their ideology has so many holes in it that they can't defend it. If it's that good of an ideology and it's the way that everybody should live and it's the way that life should be, then you shouldn't have any problem debating it or arguing it and standing on what you believe, not try to shut down other people's opinions in opposition to what you believe and what you say should be the end all be all. But no, that's not what we are experiencing. We experience that the liberals, the wokesters, regressives, Democrats, they wanted to control the narrative, control the information, and control what is being said and what is what and what's truth and what's factual. When we know that for so many years, they lied. They lied about everything. They lied and said, as soon as the man came down the escalator, they said Trump was Russian collusion, Russian collusion, Russian collusion. They lied. They lied and said the man posted up and tear gas people in front of a church so he can take a Bible picture, Bible picture in front of the church. They lied and said that he was saying that neo-Nazis were good, very good, fine people in Charlotte. Lies after lies after lies. And now we have Republicans are back in power. The GOP is back in power, and we're just literally watching the Democratic Party just crumble. And I'm here for it. I'm loving it, man. It is dangerous to have an arbiter of truth, someone to say what's factual and what's not, what's fake and what's real, right? Who is the authority of that? When we have a battle of minds, battle of ideologies, right? Battle of who says what's right and who says this is a better life and who's the authority? It's just another way to suppress our freedom of speech, which is wrong. But I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. But before I end it, I want to give you a bonus video of him, just how base this guy is, because the guy is based. I think he made a joke about white liberals always saying that white liberals are racist.
You know what I hate is when a white liberal person, they say all white people are racist. I'm like, if you're a minority, fine, but it's weird if you're white to say that. I'm like, that's suspicious as fuck. Do you know what I mean? It's like a frat guy being like, all frat guys are rapists. And you're like, but aren't you in it? Yeah, I'm in a frat. I'm not a good guy, read between the lines.
Basically, that's facts. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching the video this long. If it's your first time on the channel, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Hit the like and comment. I do read them and I do comment back the best that I can. And for those of you that have been supporting me, thank you so much. You elevated my voice to where it is today. I appreciate it. And as always, it's your boy, Craig Long 45. You can't make this shit up. I'm out. Peace.
Yeah, wait. first time adopted